Can you beat the story of GW2 with no equipment? I'm going to be honest, GW2's story is too easy for me nowadays. I still like the storytelling, but I don't feel challenged by the combat anymore. So I thought, why not make it harder and try to beat it with no armor or weapons whatsoever. So let's create a new character and start this challenge. But what profession should we pick for this challenge? I immediately ruled out the ranger and any profession that can summon allies to help you in combat, because I feel like that would undermine the challenge. I tried to use the engineer at first because of the profession's weapon kits, but that was still way too easy. So I decided to ban any skill that replaces your weapon bar skills. After looking at all the professions, I eventually landed on the thief. I created my new thief character Mr. No Equipment and began his journey in Terria. As I get into the tutorial, I unequip all my gear and run past all the centaurs to get to the boss fight behind the castle. Then I waited for the other players around me to take down the boss, which takes me out of the tutorial instant. I need to get to level 10 in order to continue the story, so I need to do some leveling, but I don't have any skills that can damage enemies. I followed the adventure guide, which gives you experience for completing certain challenges in the open world. I viewed a couple of vistas, used my healing skill, and emoted. I also did a couple of renowned hearts around the Queensdale area that didn't require combat. After a bit I reached level 10, unlocking the next chapter of the story. But I stay in level to level 11, giving me access to my first skill slot and my profession skill Steal. The Steal skill lets you steal a random skill from any enemy you use it on, so this will be useful for this challenge. I spent my hero points on a trap skill called Pitfall and another skill called Caltrops. Finally having some skills that can damage enemies, I go over to the story marker and begin the next chapter. I need to clear out these bandits from our friend's bar. I lay my trap down and take down the lower level bandits with 2 attacks from my trap skill, but the bandit Uptown Johnny took very little damage from them and also does a lot of damage towards me. Luckily there are a couple of friendly NPCs around fighting back against the bandits, giving me some time for my skills to recharge while they tank the damage. I eventually defeat Uptown Johnny with the help of the NPCs and head upstairs to the next strong enemy Blaze, and defeat him in the same manner. Next up is Deadeye Della, which does not want to follow me downstairs to the friendly NPCs who have been tanking the damage for me, so I have to defeat her on my own, and this is where I end up dying for the first time in this challenge. But thankfully she hadn't regained her health from the fight when I got back, so I could easily defeat her. I climbed the stairs up to the next level of the building to fight Twitchy Jake, who is more than willing to follow me all the way down to the first floor and fight the friendly NPCs, so defeat him in the same manner as the first 2 strong bandits. Last up is the bandit Big Nose Ted, who I defeat once again by luring him downstairs and letting the friendly NPCs attack him. This wasn't very hard, just took a long time. After fending off the bandits, I get told by our tavern keeper friend that he's sick and is going to need medicine. I speak to Logan Thackeray, who has just arrived, about getting some medicine for our friend, and he tells us to speak to Lieutenant Francis. Lieutenant Francis gives us our next mission of infiltrating a bandit cave and receiving some stolen medicine. I walked over to the bandit cave and decided to try out the Caltrop skill to see if it does any more damage. It lingers for longer but overall does less damage than the Pitfall skill. I cleared the bandits on the path to Twitchy Jake and defeat him once more and collect the stolen medicine with relative ease. I went back to the tavern and gave the tavern keep the medicine he needed. After speaking with Logan about the bandit problem, I received my next mission, which is to infiltrate another bandit cave and gain intel on the plans of the bandits. This mission doesn't involve too much combat, so I got through it while only getting down once, ironically in a duel against Deadeye Della. I head back to Divinity's Reach to inform Logan on what information I gathered on the bandits. We figured out that the bandits are planning to attack an orphanage and a hospital in Divinity's Reach. Completing this mission gave me enough experience to get access to my second skill slot, so I can use both the Caltrop skill and the Pitfall skill at the same time. After that I went down to the orphanage to stop the bandits. The combat against the bandits went alright because the enemies tend to prioritize attacking my allied NPCs over me, so I can stand back and only come in and attack once my skills had recharged. Still it wasn't easy and I had to stand around for a while and wait for my skills to recharge after every battle to ensure I could do sufficient damage for the next fight. Having saved the orphanage, I went back to Logan's office and dealt with the bandit spy in the town's army, who had been releasing the bandits we had been fighting. After having dealt with the spy, I had to do some more leveling so I could continue the story. I followed the adventure guide to boost my level up quickly. I used the bank and crafted some items, which brought me up to level 19, giving me access to my third skill slot. I spent some of my hero points on another trap skill called 1000 Needles and slotted it in. Then I continued leveling in the Keswick's Hill area while following the adventure guide until I got to level 20, giving me access to the next chapter in the story. I receive a letter from someone claiming to know what happened to my character's parents and to meet them in Divinity's Reach. I show up in Divinity's Reach and talk to this man, but it turned out to be a setup to have my character assassinated. I get the help from the Shining Blade guards.
Hold fast, stranger. The Shining Blade is here.
To defeat all the assassins, and with the combination of all my 3 skills, I'm now starting to do some real damage, mostly coming from the conditions given out by the traps. I get my next mission from the Shining Blade guards who helped me. They tell me to go to the White Mantle's cultist hideout, as they believe they are the ones responsible for this assassination attempt. I level up to level 21 and get access to my specialization tree. I chose to go with Deadly Arts to increase my condition damage. I walk into the White Mantle's hideout with my new Shining Blade friends and wipe out all the White Mantle cultists inside and save a captive girl. When we are in there, we find that they are planning to assassinate a couple more people, including Logan Thackeray. So we concoct a brilliant plan to lure out the rest of the White Mantle cultists, using Logan as bait. The plan somehow worked and we take out the cultist alongside one of their leaders. After the fight, I get informed by the 2 Shining Blade guards that they might have figured out what happened to my character's parents. So we meet in a spider cave east of Keswick's Hill, defeat the Spider Queen, and see the graves of my character's dead parents, wrapping up this story chapter. Now we're on into another level lockout, so I need to do some more leveling to get to the next story chapter. After having done some of the renowned hearts in the Keswick's Hill area, I decided to take on a world boss, so I went to Wayfarer Foothills to take on the Svanir Shaman Chief. And it went surprisingly well. I used my trap skill and then stayed away to wait for my skills to recharge while avoiding the red circles on the ground. Defeating the Shaman Chief gave me enough experience to get to level 30 and access to the next chapter of the story. I went back to Divinity's Reach to meet with Queen Jenna and Logan, and I was told to meet with 2 representatives of the Orders of Tyria in Keswick's Hill. When I arrived at the camp they were staying in, I was given the choice to either go into the swamp and destroy all the Risen, or just to go in and save the children. I chose to save the children because I knew that choice required less combat and would be faster. I simply ran to each child in the swamp and interacted with them, while dodging all the rest and chasing after me. Having rescued all the children out of the swamp, I went back to Divinity's Reach and was given another choice of plan, between investigating a lost soldier with the Orders of Whispers or defending an outpost with the Vigil. I chose the Orders of Whispers plan. I went to this castle outpost in the search of a soldier called Kellogg, but wasn't able to find him, but when I was there the Risen attacked, so I had to fend them off. I traveled back to Divinity's Reach once more and was given the choice of either speaking to Ghost or to speak to Pirates to find out what happened to Kellogg. I went with the Pirates. This mission takes place in the Gandharan fields. While traveling through, I ran into another player recognizing what I was doing and wished me good luck. I got into a pirate disguise and lit some torches outside the pirate camp to attract the Risen and then fought them off. Having saved the pirate gang, the leader gave me the information that Kellogg has been corrupted by a witch and was soon going to attack the queen. I traveled back to Divinity's Reach and joined the Vigil to defend Queen Jenna against the corrupted Kellogg. Me and the Vigil fought off the attack of Kellogg and his Risen goons inside the Queen's throne room. After that came another level lockout for the story, so I went back to Keswick's Hill and did some more leveling. Having completed the 2nd volume of the adventure guide in Keswick's Hill, I moved down to Lorna's Pass to continue my leveling. On the way there I also unlocked the elite skill Dagger Storm, giving me some extra damage. Following the adventure guide in Lorna's Pass, I eventually reached level 40 and continued the story. Me and Logan met with the other members of the once great Destiny's Edge in Lion's Arch to try to negotiate a way to get the band back together, but things don't go so well.
You have something to say it to my face.
I would if you weren't always running away. I should gut you and be done with it.
They go their separate ways and I receive a letter from the Vigil telling me to report to Fort Mariner. I clean out my inventory and go over there. I meet with General Almora Soulkeeper, the leader of the Vigil, and my new mentor Forgal Curson. I was given the order to go with Forgal to the human settlement Ebonhawk to stop a Shard renegade invasion. I wipe out the renegade with some trouble and retake Ebonhawk alongside the local guards. After reclaiming Ebonhawk, me and Forgal go to the Shard renegade camps just outside of Ebonhawk and burn down their tents and forcefully get some information from one of the renegade leaders. Next, me and Forgal escort Sergeant Ellie Jane, who's on the way to deliver a message. While on the way there, we get ambushed by some Shard renegade. Having stopped the ambush attempt, we get to the camp and get the choice of either going to the renegade camp and killing their leader, Ajax, or staying back and defending the camp from a renegade attack. I chose the attack option because it tends to be faster. Once we get to the encampment, we have to fight through a lot of renegade guards to get to Ajax. I try to go straight for the leader and kill him, as that will make you complete the mission instantly, but I was way too weak to tank all the damage from the guards surrounding him, so I died. So I had to slowly go through taking out each guard one by one. Once I cleared out all the guards, I went to take down Ajax, but I quickly got defeated by him, because I had no one to tank all the damage for me anymore because all my allies had gotten down. So I went around and revived all my friendly NPCs and then took on the boss, which worked. After having completed that mission, I went to Vigil Keep and proudly informed Alnora that I killed her son.
Stand down, Crusader!
The Vigil wants to ally with one of the minor races of Teria, so I made the decision to investigate the Skrit as a potential ally to the Vigil. Then another level lock came in. I was getting bored, so I tried switching it up with another world boss, this time Taria Covington, even though I was a little under level for this event. We blew up her gate and I did some decent damage to Taria with my trap skills, while remaining very careful as to not get instantly downed. Completing this event brought me up to level 44. After that I went back to Lorna's Path to do some more leveling. At level 45 you get access to the second specialization tree, but I didn't realize I had unlocked it until level 47. But when I did, I went for the trickery specialization because I wanted the lesser caltrop trait. This means every time you dodge, a small circle of caltrops spawn at your feet, damaging and crippling any foe that steps in it. I reached level 50 and go to the Skrit den in the Harati hinterlands. The Skrit had found some destroyer eggs, and right as we came they hatched, so we had to destroy all the destroyer babies. After having defeated all the destroyers, I was given the choice to either get a bomb to take down the destroyer queen, or to rescue some of the Skrit's friends. I chose the rescue mission. I fought my way through a cave full of oozes, destroyers and grubs, to take a couple of Skrit inside to safety. Me and Fogel went back to the Skrit den after having completed a rescue mission to fend off the destroyer queen. We defeated the queen, the Skrit laid down their bomb, then we got out of there before the bomb went off.
No! Let the destroyers be destroyed!
Completing this story chapter. And that's where I'm going to end this video. I just had too much stuff to talk about with this challenge, so I decided to split it up into 2 videos, so come back in a week or so and I'll have part 2 ready for you. Thanks for watching.